Elara Thompson had always been the overachiever type, the kind of student who thrived on late-night cramming sessions at the library of Evergreen State University in the misty Pacific Northwest. The campus, nestled among towering evergreens and fog-shrouded hills, felt like a world apart from the bustling city she'd left behind. As a biology major, her days blurred into nights filled with dissections, research papers, and endless notes on ecosystems. The university's shuttle system was her lifeline, a reliable loop that wound through the wooded paths connecting lecture halls to the remote student apartments on the edge of the forest reserve. One rainy evening in October, Elara boarded the shuttle just after midnight, her laptop bag slung over her shoulder like a weary companion. The driver, a middle-aged woman with cropped silver hair and a no-nonsense expression, nodded curtly as Elara scanned her ID card. The bus was empty, save for the hum of the engine and the patter of rain against the windows. She settled into a seat near the middle, pulling out her notes to review one last time before collapsing into bed. At first, the ride felt familiar. The shuttle rumbled past the science building, then veered toward the main quad. But as minutes ticked by, Elara noticed the trees growing denser outside her window. The usual turn toward the apartments never came. Instead, the bus continued straight, delving deeper into the reserve's unlit trails. The rain intensified, blurring the glass, but she could make out the absence of street signs or familiar landmarks. Her heart quickened. "Excuse me," she called out, standing to approach the driver. "I think we're going the wrong way." The apartments are back that direction. The driver didn't respond. Her hands gripped the wheel tightly, eyes fixed on the winding path ahead. Elara's mind raced, maybe a detour due to flooding, but the silence stretched, broken only by the swish of wipers. She tried again, louder. "Hey, can you hear me? This isn't the route." Still nothing. Panic bubbled as the bus slowed near a clearing surrounded by thick underbrush and shadowed pines. The driver shifted the gear into park and turned, her face illuminated by the dashboard glow. A faint smile tugged at her lips. Not reassuring, but calculated, like she'd been waiting for this moment. "Why are we stopping?" Elara demanded, her voice trembling. The driver reached under the seat, producing a small key fob. With a click, the doors sealed shut. "You ask too many questions," the woman said softly, her tone eerily calm. "Sometimes it's better to just observe." Elara backed away, fumbling for her phone. No signal. The reserve was notorious for dead zones. She banged on the windows, but they were reinforced, unyielding. The driver stood now, blocking the aisle, her posture rigid. Desperation fueled Elara's actions. She remembered a safety seminar from orientation, emergency protocols. Spotting the red lever for the rear exit, she dashed toward it, yanking hard. It budged slightly, but the driver was closing in. "You shouldn't fight it," the woman murmured almost sadly. Elara's mind flashed to stories she'd heard, whispers of missing students, chalked up to hikes gone wrong in the woods. Was this how it happened? In a surge of adrenaline, Elara grabbed a loose fire extinguisher from the wall and swung it wildly, creating just enough space to slip past. She reached the front again, slamming the manual override button she'd overlooked before. The doors hissed open. Rain poured in as she tumbled out, scraping her knees on the gravel. The driver hesitated, glancing at the tree line, then revved the engine and sped off into the night. Shivering and soaked, Elara stumbled through the mud, disoriented. Headlights pierced the darkness, a pickup truck approaching slowly. She waved frantically, heart pounding. The driver, a burly man in his 40s with a weathered face and flannel shirt, pulled over. "You all right?" he shouted over the storm. Elara froze. Stranger danger echoed in her mind, but the alternative was the endless woods. "Please help me." The shuttle driver, she tried to. Words failed her. The man, introducing himself as Harlan, a local ranger patrolling the reserve, listened intently. He noted the shuttle's number from her description and insisted on driving her to the nearest ranger station. The ride was tense. Elara clutched her bag, eyeing the door handle. But Harlan kept his distance, radioing ahead for campus security. At the station, they pieced it together. The driver had a history of erratic behavior, dismissed complaints from prior shifts. She'd been using the shuttle for unauthorized detours. Her motives unclear, perhaps isolation, perhaps something darker. Harlan stayed until Elara was safe, even escorting her back to her apartment. He vanished into the rain without fanfare. A guardian in the storm, the university fired the driver, but Elara couldn't shake the fear. What if she'd returned for unfinished business? Nights blurred with paranoia, every rustle in the woods a reminder that safety was an illusion in the shadows of Evergreen. Marcus Hale and his buddies, Lila and Theo, were the adventurers of Willow Creek College, a historic institution in the rolling hills of New England. Known for its ivy-covered buildings and autumn foliage, the campus hid secrets in its underbelly. Abandoned steam tunnels from the 1800s, once used for heating and rumored for smuggling during Prohibition. Marcus, a history major with a penchant for the macabre, discovered an old map in the archives during a late-night research binge. "This is gold," he exclaimed to his friends over coffee. "We could explore parts no one's seen in decades." Lila, an art student with a skeptical streak, rolled her eyes. "And get expelled? Or worse, stuck down there?" Theo, the engineering whiz, grinned. "Come on, where's your sense of adventure?" "The entrance is behind the old chapel, unlocked according to this." Peer pressure won out. That crisp Friday evening under a harvest moon, they pried open a grated hatch concealed by overgrown vines. A chill draft greeted them, carrying the scent of rust and decay. Flashlights in hand, they descended a ladder into the dim corridor. The tunnels were a labyrinth. Narrow passages with dripping ceilings, exposed wires, and faded warnings etched on the walls. "Stay close," Marcus whispered, leading with the map. They marveled at relics, old crates, shattered lanterns, even a rusted bicycle frame. Laughter echoed as they posed for selfies, but the air grew heavier the deeper they went. At a fork, Theo pointed left. "This way leads under the library, I think." But Lila felt a pull toward the right, a steeper decline into blackness. "Something feels off," she murmured. Ignoring her, they pressed on. Then a low hum vibrated through the walls like machinery far away. Probably the new HVAC system, Theo rationalized. But the hum morphed into a murmur, indistinct words blending with the drip of water. Marcus froze. "Did you hear that?" Lila nodded, her beam sweeping the shadows. Ahead, a shape materialized, a silhouette against the wall, unmoving as if etched into the stone. Theo bolted first, his flashlight clattering. "Run!" he yelled. Panic surged. Marcus and Lila followed, the murmurs growing louder, calling fragments of names, perhaps theirs. The figure didn't pursue visibly, but the distance closed unnaturally, like a shadow lengthening. They twisted through turns, lungs burning, until they spotted the ladder. Scrambling up, they emerged, gasping into the night air. Theo was already outside, hyperventilating. I saw it move, he admitted, like it was waiting. They didn't speak of it again that night, but Marcus dug deeper the next day. Archival clippings revealed a worker trapped in the tunnels during a collapse in the 1920s. His colleagues heard echoes, his voice pleading for days after. No body recovered. Willow Creek's tunnels became forbidden in Marcus's mind, but sometimes, in quiet moments, he swore the murmurs followed him above ground, an eternal plea from the depths. Sophia Reyes arrived at Bayview University on the sunny California coast with dreams of marine science and beachside study sessions. Her dorm, Seaview Tower, was a modern high-rise overlooking the ocean, but her room on the 12th floor carried an odd vibe from day one. A faint, acrid odor like spoiled fruit. She dismissed it as new building smells, focusing instead on unpacking posters and textbooks. As weeks passed, the scent intensified, evolving into something foul, like decay wafting from the heating vents. Sophia aired out the room, sprayed fresheners, even borrowed a fan from a neighbor. Nothing helped. It's like something died in here, she complained to her RA, a cheerful senior named Mia. Mia shrugged. Old vents, maybe? I'll call facilities. The maintenance team arrived, 2 technicians who poked at ducts and drains. Nothing obvious, the lead said. Could be external. Seagulls nesting or something. Unsatisfied, Sophia noticed specks the next morning. Tiny larvae inching along her desk, trailing toward the ceiling vent. Horror gripped her. She demanded a thorough inspection. This time, they dismantled the vent cover. A wave of stench erupted, revealing a sealed container wedged inside, contents blackened and festering. Once fresh produce, now a slimy mass. How? Sophia gasped. The workers exchanged glances. Prank, maybe. But this vent was inspected pre-move-in. The room had sat vacant for months after a prior incident. A student who'd left abruptly, citing unseen issues. Sophia relocated immediately, but questions lingered. Who planted it? For what purpose? Nights in her new room brought unease. Was it a warning or residue from something unresolved? The decay wasn't just physical. It seeped into her trust of the familiar, turning paradise into paranoia. In the bustling heart of Midwest Tech Institute, amid cornfields and innovation hubs, Jamal Ortiz savored his junior year independence in a co-ed residence hall. Engineering demands kept him up late. The solitude suited him until the tapping began. At precisely 3 a.m., a rhythmic pattern, tap, tap, tap on his door. Groggy, he checked the viewer. A woman in her 20s, hood up, expression neutral. Who is it? He called. No reply. She lingered, then departed. It repeated nightly, escalating his anxiety. Hallmates denied knowing her. The RA confirmed no female staff matched the description. Maybe a mix-up, he suggested. But when the knob rattled one night, Jamal barricaded the door, heart racing. Security footage captured her, arriving punctually, departing methodically. Digging revealed she was a former resident assistant, demoted after losing access credentials. Locks changed, patrols increased, but she vanished. Jamal wondered, how often had she entered undetected? The taps echoed in his dreams, a reminder that boundaries blur in the dead of night. These tales from college shadows remind us, vigilance is key. What lurks in routine can unsettle forever.